I want to get in Professor Sanjay Kumar also, who's been waiting patiently. Professor Sanjay Kumar, you heard that interview with Dharmendra Pradhan. You go along with that the voters chose. In an election, you choose between choices, and they preferred the trusted Nitish to an untested Tejashwi who came with the baggage of Lalu Prasad. Lalu is both an asset and a liability for Tejashwi, brings the vote bank of Muslim Yadavs, but also memories of Jangal Raj.
Rajdeep, more than Lalu and Nitish, I would say the big slogan on which NDA campaigned, that if by any chance Mahagathbandhan comes to power, Jangal Raj is going to come back. And that connects to what Dharmendra Pradhan ji mentioned, hope and despair in a sense. So this constant reminder by NDA that look, this is not an election to elect your MLA. This is not an election to elect your chief minister. This is an election to make sure whether you want to take Bihar to the path of progress or you want a return of Jangal Raj in Bihar. I think this big narrative which the NDA tried to use extensively or constantly during the campaign, that seems to have helped the NDA, because that helped NDA in consolidate those voters who may not have voted for NDA in the past election. You rightly pointed out that if I look at caste-wise vote breakup, the two core group supporters of Mahagathbandhan, Yadavs and Muslims, have voted for the Mahagathbandhan in a big way, maybe in much bigger way compared to the past election. But on the other hand, if you look at the upper caste and other communities, except Yadavs and Muslims, they have voted en bloc in favor of NDA, and that explains that is one of the factors why NDA managed to increase 6 or 7% votes compared to the past assembly election.
So let me simplify that for our viewers. You're saying, Sanjay Yadav, Muslims and Yadavs consolidated or continue to consolidate by and large, barring pockets of Simanchal, around the Mahagathbandhan, but there was an even greater consolidation of all the other groups around the NDA. Am I correct?
Absolutely, you're right. That there was a polarization and counter-polarization. Muslims and Yadavs voted in favor of Mahagathbandhan in much bigger numbers compared to past election, to the tune of more than 80%. But if you look at the other caste, except Yadavs and Muslims, they voted for NDA in a very large numbers, again at the tune of 80% or plus.
Okay.
Okay, let's bring in Manisha Priyam now. Manisha Priyam, we are looking at multiple factors that worked. What do you think did not work for Mahagathbandhan, or do you think they got everything right, got wrong from the word go?
So the very fulcrum of the Mahagathbandhan, which was the RJD, that has collapsed big time. It's held on to its core vote base. It remains the party of the Yadavs, but whether even the M added on fully or not, the results in the Simanchal region especially put a question mark. So the big failing of the Mahagathbandhan has been able to get even its own leaders from other castes. Remember, in the Lok Sabha election, the RJD had a Kushwaha leader trounce the citadel of Chittorgarh of Rajputs in the Aurangabad constituency, and Abhay Kushwaha is their leader in the Lok Sabha, but he wasn't to be seen by the side of Tejashwi Yadav. They also have a very prominent Muslim leader in the name of Abdul Bari Siddiqui. They also have a very prominent Rajput leader in the name of Member of Parliament Sudhakar Singh. So I definitely feel that neither did Mr. Tejashwi Yadav bring on his other leaders from the party, let alone walk across to an erstwhile ally of the family and of the party, Ram Kripal Yadav, to say, Chacha, please come back, or even to say that even if you don't come back, guide us, you know, you are our great uncle. So the point that I'm trying to make is that the RJD made no efforts to win over leaders from other backward castes, extremely backward castes, or to portray its own party as a bouquet of leadership. The singular focus on Tejashwi entrenching himself in the legacy that he's got, I think that was a huge failing of Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav. Laluji's own politics was quite different. Remember the Garib Railas? Yeah.
In a way,
bring in an Abo Devi to parliament, or a Ramai Ram,
You know, the social coalition in a way has
Yeah,
actually
that
got
he didn't
restricted.
do.
What we realize is the social coalition that was once very
restricted.
broad has with time actually shrunk, which is very interesting because Akhilesh Yadav, Maria, has actually tried through his
Yes.
PDA to go the other way. He brought in Pichda, Dalits, Alpasankyak, Adi Abadi together. Yogendra Yadav, you're still with us. Give us a final word. You heard what Surjit Bhalla also said. Many believe, Yogendra Yadav, that what we are seeing is the opposition is living in denial. That you actually have, the opposition needs to stop making the same mistakes all over again. They are unable to come to agreements on seat sharing. They don't have a clear narrative, clear messaging. And their leadership seems to lack credibility among common masses. The BJP with its welfare schemes, Nitish with his trust among women, carried more credibility. This was an election between credibility of the Yadavs versus credibility of Nemo. Nemo won.
Rajdeep, after a verdict like this, the easiest thing would be to say that the loser got everything wrong and the winner got everything right. That obviously does not happen. Yes, the opposition must have got right, must have got something seriously wrong. And while they are absolutely in their right to complain, to point fingers at the dubious conduct of the Election Commission,
They got wrong.
while they can speak about other things, but I do hope opposition would reflect on some basic things. Number one, as Manisha, I think, has very clearly pointed out, the period of 90 to 2005, which was painted as those dark days by Mr. Pradhan, was a period of social revolution in Bihar, a social revolution which failed to result into governance and therefore got stalled. But do remember, Lalu Prasad Yadav's revolution was not that of MY. It was a very broad coalition of Garib Gurba,
Garib
of
Gurba.
all the downtrodden sections of society, plus, of course, some upper caste as well. So, in fact, unlike Mulayam Singh Yadav, Lalu Prasad Yadav had a deeper and wider social coalition, which included Dalits, which included all the marginalized sections. And over the years, that very broad coalition of the bottom of the pyramid has got reduced into a coalition of MY.
Right.
Now, excluding the M of Simanchal, who may have gone somewhat to the MIM, the MY coalition has stayed. But the difficulty is that the more successful this coalition is, the point that Sanjay ji has made, in fact, it's counterproductive. If people see Muslims uniting behind the Mahagathbandhan, there is a counter-Hindu mobilization. And if people see Yadavs on the street with the confidence of coming back to power, it's not only the forward caste, it's also many EBCs who feel a sense of unease and threat. And the other thing where the opposition failed, did not do its job properly, was to address that question of Jangal Raj, which continues to be a dominant narrative, right or wrong. It's a very dominant narrative. Now Tejashwi has to address it. So these things can be done. It is not end of the road. Today's election is not the kind of setback that Maharashtra was, that Haryana was. And the real test, to my mind, will come in Uttar Pradesh. But may I end by saying that the opposition also faces a very difficult challenge and something which no one can envy, which is if they increasingly find that, look, we do everything, but result to ye aana hi aana hai. Maharashtra mein ye hua, Haryana mein hua, whatever we might do, BJP will win. Then there is a very serious question the opposition will face. I hope they don't face it, but that will be decided by after the next round, especially after West Bengal, which is going to be the key battle for the next round.
Okay. We've heard all sides right through the day. I appreciate all my guests joining us. I'm going to ask in conclusion, Bihar ki beti, Maria Shakil, what through this day has stood out for you the most? All these takeaways, ye sab chodo. What is the thing that stood out for you most? I want to also say, Maria told me a month ago, sir, this is Nitish Babu's election.
I would have
wanted... that right? What do you think was what is your biggest takeaway?
Rajdeep, I would have wanted to see Nitish Kumar today. If he is the man of the moment, he should have, made some public appearance, gone to perhaps his party office. In 2010, I reported from his house. In 2015, I reported outside his house. I've covered the state very, very closely. Today, Nitish Kumar is not visible. And I'm just thinking, here is the man who has got that kind of faith from Bihar, across Bihar. And I am not seeing any image of Nitish Kumar. It has been just a tweet which he has shared.
Very, very good point. The invisible Nitish Kumar in terms of the media, but visible it appears in the hearts and minds of many Biharis, particularly women. At the end of the day, he is in every sense the man of the match, because if you are 20 years in power in a state in a Hindi heartland and still remain relevant, he may be Paltu Babu Ram for some, Sushasan Babu for others. For the voters of Bihar, Bihar की मजबूरी कही है या कुछ भी कही है, Nitish Kumar zaruri hai. On that note, from Maria, me and the entire wonderful team at India Today, which has put all these splendid graphics, I want to thank all of them, Samkhya, who's our producer, all the people on the desk, earlier my colleagues, Gaurav Sawant, Preeti Chaudhary, who joined us, as well as all those in the PCR, in the guest relations, in the assignment. Election day, trust me, is the ultimate team effort. And if news channels can do it, maybe so should political parties. No friendly fights take place even in news channels on election day. And even if they do, they're all in the spirit of things. So thank you all very much for joining us.